This is Parametric Library's hydraulic cylinder component based on the Parker 2H hydraulic cylinder. It includes all known sizes from the 1.5 inch bore with a 5/8 rad all the way down to the 6 inch bore with a 4 inch rad. It is Excel sheet driven, so you have the ability to change your cylinder size at any time in your design. You also can modify many different features of this hydraulic cylinder. Number one, how much stroke does the cylinder have? Is a modifiable parameter. How much rod extension? In other words, how much longer is the rod than standard? How much stroke shown? This is actually how much stroke beyond normal. So we got a 2 inch extension here, and we got 3 inches of stroke. I can go up to 3 inches more shown, but if you happen to enter, like, let's say 4, which is more, the program automatically limits you to the 3 inches. It will not allow you to go above and beyond what actually does exist. You also can change the head orientation so that the port can come out the different sides. You also can change the cap orientation, so then you can control which sides your ports are coming out of. Now, it will allow any angles, but it should be only in 90-degree increments of 90, 180, or 270, or 0. If you want it to come out the top. Other modifiable parameters are the flange types and the rod end types. Here we have 3 different types for the flange and 3 different types for the rod end. Flange type 1 is the regular flange rectangle. Number 2 is the square. And number 3 is the head body rectangular mount. Rod end types, number 1 is the small male, number 2 is the large male, and number 3 is the female. The component also comes with a subtraction tool that subtracts the body area of the cylinder and also subtracts clearance for the action pieces of the cylinder, including a tap size hole for the rod end. Clearance parameters will adjust these 3 areas: bore clearance here and here, bore clearance depth for here, and also rod clearance for here. Now onto some installation demos. Installation demo 1. Here I'm going to go ahead and select a Parker cylinder. I'm going to say it's a 2 inch bore with a 1 inch rod. Say OK. I know that on this part I need 3 inches of stroke for this particular part. The rod extension, I'm going to say 0. How much of the rod stroke? I want it to be fully out so I can see it, so I'm going to say 3 inches. Head orientation 0, 0. Flange type, I want the regular rectangular flange, so I'm going 1. Rod end type, I want the small male, so version 1. Bore clearance, 1/8 inch, 16th, and 1/8 inch are all fine for clearances. Now, the part does have 3 mounting places. The flange, which is the front of the flange. The rod, which is the rod end. So that you would use to mount like right up against the slide if you wanted. And then also the head, which is the front head of the flange. And that one you mostly is only used when you use the number 3 flange type. For this example, I want to use the standard flange. I want to mount it just flat to this outside face. So I'm just going to put it on here somewhere, click, and now I want to constrain it. I've selected the face it's going to go against. I'm going to hide the mold set, and I want it to be on center of the slide body, so I'll select this side and then this side for alignment, and then I'll select the bottom of the slide and say I want a distance of 1 inch up. and it puts it in at center and 1 inch up. I look at it orientation wise, I'd like this to be, we'll go 90 degrees so that the ports are down and that it looks the flange is the direction I want to go. I'm going to go ahead and say stop. Now it's asking me for what shapes do I want to modify. Well, I want to modify that shape and the slide, so it puts the tapped hole in the end of it. I'm going to go ahead and say stop and escape. Now if I look at this, this is a little short. I've measured that distance and it is an additional 1/4 inch. So I'm going to give my slide a 1/4 inch more travel. 3.25 stroke. And I'm also going to have it show that stroke of 3.25. So now it's nice and tight, it travels good. And then let's say the customer wants the end cap to have a different orientation for the port. I can go there, say give me cap orientation, say -90, and now my cap has a port coming out that side while the other port is out the bottom. If we take a look, you can see that it's put in the machine clearance for the rod and the bore and put in the tapped hole.